Hey everybody, how's it going? These are my top 5 favorite designer fragrances, and I'm not going to include any private blends to this list, just specifically the standard designer scents. We're going to start with Light Blue Intense by Dolce Gabbana. This is a lemon apple musk fragrance, and this is the feminine one, but it's very, very unisex. I always recommend anybody to get the feminine one because the masculine one just smells like your typical shower gel. And it's just, I don't know, it's a very generic smell, whereas this one just has the it factor that the masculine one lacks. But this performs on my skin easily over 7 hours, and I always recommend the intense version over the OG. Now, I didn't really think too hard about which fragrances were going to be my top 5, just because these 5 constantly just kept being like, they never left my mind, you know what I mean? I feel like if I had to try to think hard of other things, then they weren't really worthy of being my top 5. You know what I mean? So next, we've got Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. And this, till this day, is still one of the sexiest feminine fragrances I have ever smelled. And yes, that includes the niche as well. Like, this is sexier than a lot of fragrances I've smelled that go over $200. You know what I mean? And it's still my favorite, just like, even with the designers, it's so good. If you just want to straight up smell sexy, if that's your goal, you want something that's going to make you smell sexy, you want something to get railed to, you want something that lasts over 8 hours, get this. Now, it has over 30 notes in it. So if I were to sit here and tell you every single note, and you're going to try to think to yourself, okay, what does that smell like altogether? It's going to be very hard. So what I would suggest is go to Macy's, go to Sephora, go to Ulta, spray this on your skin. Don't rub it in. Spray it from a distance, all right? Let the fragrance settle, let it breathe, and then bring it to your nose. I've made so many videos as to why you shouldn't rub in your fragrance, but this scent still makes me weak in the knees. It's still my, I was going to say kryptonite. Kryptonite. All right. The next one is Spice Bomb Extreme by Viktor Rolf. This fragrance is one of my favorite, actually with the designer scents, my favorite nighttime scent when I'm looking for something that will give me that head-turning reaction. This is what I wear when I want a fragrance that's going to perform and that's not going to fade into the background. So this is a beautiful balance of sweet and spicy, sexy, and cozy. All right, so this smells like tobacco, vanilla, and caraway. If you haven't smelled caraway, I honestly thought it was cumin. It's definitely a spice that gets your attention, that punches you in the face right when you spray it. But this scent has had people stop me mid-conversation just to compliment me on how good that was. And to be honest, every single person that's done that has been a woman. Yeah, they're just like, by the way, you smell so good. That's amazing. And a guy. One guy did that as well. But this just smells so good. And ladies, if you're watching, I would recommend you try it on your skin if you want to. Yes, this is typically known as a masculine fragrance. And a lot of guys, when they see me talk about this, they're like, oh no, that's way too masculine. But you have to remember that skin chemistry is a big thing. The way this smells on feminine skin, very different than masculine skin. Nobody has come up to me and been like, oh, you're wearing a dude's fragrance. It wasn't the same. Like when I tested Bleu de Chanel, it was very obvious that it was a masculine scent. And people were like, oh yeah, that smells like a guy. But with this one, it's just unbelievably sexy. Nobody thought it was overly masculine, so try it on yourself. All right. Sea Intense by Armani, specifically the black bottle in my hand. This is a 2014 release. I haven't tried the new Sea Intense that they have in stores right now, so I can't really talk about that one, but this to me is Lara Croft in a bottle. Think of Tomb Raider, think of Angelina Jolie as Tomb Raider, think of just the baddest bitch on the planet, and she'll smell like Sea Intense. All right, this fragrance to me is for somebody that wants something mysterious, alluring, versatile. You're somebody that goes against the grain, you know what I mean? But this scent smells like blackcurrant and vanilla. And if you haven't smelled blackcurrant, just think of dark berries, like blackberries, because when I wore this in the summertime, it just smelled like a blast of blackberries. But then when I wore this in cooler weather, the vanilla and the berries were mixing really well. So this adapts to weather really nicely. It's rare to find nowadays because this one's discontinued, but I always recommend it. This is my favorite feminine scent, feminine designer fragrance. And to be honest, I actually think it's my favorite feminine scent, period, actually, including the niche ones. Maybe Delina. I like Delina and Atrep Revs, but this just, it's hard to compete with this fragrance. On top of that, over 10 hours of performance. I love, love, love this fragrance. And lastly, of course, I will never, ever, 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 never, ever not put La Nuit de Long by YSL on my list when it comes to designer fragrances, because this was my first love, and you never forget your first love. It's just a sexy cardamom fragrance. That's really all there is to it. Yes, some people actually get some lavender with the scent to just smell like where it smells more clean, but on me, it's straight up cardamom, and I love it. Now, this doesn't have as amazing performance as Spice Bomb Extreme does. This is definitely a lot closer to your skin, but just overspray it and it should be fine. Don't worry about like, oh, the batch numbers and you have to get into the specifics. Like, I got this in 2020 and it lasts like 5 to 6 hours on my skin without overspraying. You know what I mean? So, and if it doesn't have great performance, then just get the big bottle and overspray the shit out of it. Trust me, it smells really, really good. Now, I'll put all the names of the fragrances and discount site links in the description in case you're trying to cop any of these bottles. And I hope you have a great night. All right, take care. Bye.